Okay, I want to bring in now independent journalist Louis Arnestoy. He is in Kerr County right now and owns the Kerr County lead, keeping those in Kerr County informed. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to ask you, how are you doing? Where are you live from? Are you hearing anything new about these new flash flood warnings?
I'm in Kerrville. I'm at the lovely Pint and Plow Brewing Company here in downtown Kerrville, where I do my morning webcast. You know, first off, I got to say this. You ask how I'm doing. I'm kind of sick right now, to tell you the truth. We had a story earlier in the day that, you know, I fell for it, I guess. We had the sourcing on it. I felt comfortable about it. And you've been in these situations before where, you know, our officials can only give us so much, and you feel good about your sourcing on this, and it turns out to not be true. And this story that we had of two little girls that were somehow miraculously found in a tree 30 feet up is not true, unfortunately. And what makes this particularly sad for me and for the community is that we only did this when we had so many people reaching out to us saying, "Oh my gosh, Louis, this has happened. This is incredible. This is one of those miracle stories." And I don't know what I'm more sick about. I don't know if I'm more sick that I published the story in the first place, or that that somebody in our community led us down that way and crushed so many people, you know, who were hoping for a really good story, because we've had nothing but bad news for the last, you know, 3 days now. In some ways too, and then on the flip side of this, we got to, you know, we were in the press conference. We got to update that there was a wall of water coming on the North Fork of the Guadalupe River, and that turned out to not necessarily be the case either. I think I've heard 4 or 5 crazy stories in the last hour and a half or 2 hours that I'm like, what's happening here? So that's been, I don't know if I'm either tired at this point or this just seems to be some of the misinformation and rumors have ramped up to extreme levels at this point.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, you're tired, obviously. This is emotional. This is your community. I'm glad you cleared that up, though, because people have been asking me about that, Luis, about there was this report around social media floating around that there were 2 young girls found alive clinging to a tree, and you're now saying the reporting is that that's not true. And I think people are just so desperate for something to cling on to in this area with everything, with all the devastation, and people wanted some good news. And sadly, that's just not the case. And even just the last hour driving around the river here, I've seen cadaver dogs out. I've seen search teams clearly looking for, you know, human remains at this point. And of course, miracles can happen, but it seems like, Luis, we're entering that phase now where they're likely focusing on finding people that didn't make it.
Right. And I think that's, I mean, Judge Rob Kelly kind of said it yesterday best. You know, he kind of said that's we're in recovery mode, and I think there is a certain truth to this. And I think, you know, when I heard the story about these little girls, I was like, no, you know, how many times we've heard some miraculous story of somebody holding on, and I mean, Greg Abbott said it yesterday. We pray for these things, that someone can hold on a little bit. So, you know, I think we all kind of believe that for a minute. And the reality of it is we have to be real. And in my gut, I should have, you know, listened to my gut and rather than my heart, I guess, at that point. And my gut said, nobody can survive, you know, a 6-mile trip down this river, going over 4 or 5 dams, going over a bridge with all the debris. And you've seen the debris fields here. That's the hard part. You guys had a really great video earlier at the 5 o'clock show where it just showed the intensity of the recovery efforts, where you got to dig and dig and dig and dig, because there are mounds of dirt and debris and big trees and gunk all up and down this river. And it's really hard to see. I mean, I don't think you've been here before to see what this place looked like. We were getting ready to do a big feature story on the beauty and the wildness of the Guadalupe River. And it's completely changed now. It's a completely different looking place today.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.